seat, and they had to jam on there
at the same time.
Oh, we put it all on there, and that thing didn't miss a beat. Now the problem is it's hard to control with an extra 200 pounds of kids on the back, but like you're going and you're thinking to yourself, how on earth? And this is why Northern Europe and Scandinavia, like, they're so much better than we are. Now they did it without the motors for a long time, but they're a bike culture. So when they did the electric bike thing, these things were hauling tons of cargo, and that's what these are. These are like these cargo bikes.
Yeah.
And if you can get involved, the problem is that you have to finance it like you do a car. If you're going to get one of those super nice,
this is where this program might be helpful to you. So here's what happens. All right. So you can just Google Utah Department of Environmental Quality e-bikes. It'll take you there.
Okay.
And this is, if you're to be eligible, you have to be at least 18. You must live in Davis, Salt Lake, Tooele, Weber, or Utah counties.
Yeah.
And you must apply and be approved. If you you have to be approved before you purchase the bike. Purchase is made before approval, do not qualify, and then you have to agree to the terms and conditions.
Okay, so how much is this
and there's
worth
a
up
limited
to?
number of slots. There's a limited number of slots.
Is it a certain kind of bike that they must have a partnership with the bike manufacturer or something, or somebody who's providing these, or how is it? Is it what's the worth of this bike that you'd be getting?
They do have e-bike approved stores.
Okay.
So yeah. Well, they have approved stores that you can shop at. So
you know what we love here in the state of Utah is free stuff. And I will tell you, we will wait in line. This last weekend, UCare did a gas can exchange up in Davis County. Okay.
Yeah.
Gas can exchange. So yes, the red gas can, the one that like holds like 2.5 gallons. You could come trade in the one that was like your old one and get like a new EPA approved one. The line went like 3 miles and they ran out in 5 minutes. And it was honestly, you were like, this is what we waited in line for. You know why? Because we're Utahns and we like free stuff. If you tell us that it's free, we're going to be there. So I would imagine these slots will go very, very quickly. And this program will, whatever version of selling out free stuff is, that's going to happen very, very quickly.
All right, next up, number 2 on our 3 things. The preliminary hearing for Tyler Robinson's capital murder case will remain open to the public. That's according to a ruling by 4th District Judge Tony Graff. He made that decision today, or announced it today. The defense team was trying to keep the hearing closed. They're afraid that if the media is allowed to hear some of the information if the public was allowed to hear some of this initial information, it could taint a future jury pool.
Some jury pool.
And so they're trying to keep it closed, but it's going to be open. So we'll be able to,
and it should be that way.
Hear all about it.
Look, the state of Utah has been pretty committed to making sure these things are open and seen. And here's the thing.
You know what I think?
By the way, a lot of this is going to end up in the public anyway. I mean, that's just how this works. Like so many of these things, the probable cause statement, where some of these details are, the defense is just hoping that we wouldn't necessarily put those things out there, but some of the preliminary hearing stuff that they're going to be bringing up, one, we're already going to kind of know, and then two, you should be allowed to know anyway, and just keeping it for the sake of, well, the judge felt like, I listened to the hearing live today, and his decision was like, this is not prejudice enough. It's not going to taint this enough for me to say, no, we're not doing this anymore, which I could appreciate because, one, we're media people, and two, we're interested. And, heaven forbid that we're interested. We watched the whole Daybell and Vallow cases get figured out, and some of those things at certain times the cameras weren't allowed, and at certain times they were. And so, we're interested in this stuff, and it's a public interest, and I'm glad that we're still putting it out there.
So I'm glad you brought up the cameras, because one thing that I wish they wouldn't do, I wish they would not put cameras in this courtroom. I don't think this one should be televised. I really honestly don't.
Yeah, I don't think
it's too much of a circus, and I think one of the risks that we have to, allowing this stuff to be broadcast live is you turn it into a circus, and I think you kind of reduce the public's opinion of the courts, like in general. I mean, if you turn it into reality TV, will we take it as seriously? We take the courts as seriously, and I don't know that I like that, especially this one, because it's got such a heavy political take. or political element at a time when politics is just so fraught right now. I honestly don't think we should.
So you don't think the camera should be in there? See, I think
no, not at all.
I don't. Is it because
bring the sketch artist back?
So you're doing it. Oh, the sketch artist. I can't
bring
do
those guys back.
And they bring them in, and then you go, this guy did a pretty good job, I guess, for him having that day's work ahead of him. But at the same time, I'm always like, nah, I don't know. Why do we owe it to this guy to not have it televised? You know, I don't know.
It's not for him.
You just don't like how much we're like kind of romanticizing the whole thing.
Not romanticizing. I think it doesn't help anybody to turn it into a giant circus. It's not for him. It's for us, honestly. So that's kind of where I am.
All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go quickly to the third thing because we can't advertise three things and only do two. So go quickly here so I can get us to a break.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, farmers I should say, orchard owners across the state are reporting losses of 95 to 100% on the following things: apricots, sweet and tart cherries, plums, peaches, pears, and apples. That's according to the state government.
Is this because of that one freeze that really got us?
There were a couple of them kind of that hit different parts of the state. Gosh. And basically 95 to 100% losses on those. And if you have those in your backyard, state officials say probably the same.
Well, for sure. If it's just in a regular backyard, if these farmers aren't able to do it, you think that has like even green thumb. You could get lucky, I guess.
You might have one. You might have one up against a wall or something like that.
You threw a blanket over it. The one tree you have, you were able to keep that thing warm overnight. That's fine. All right. We're taking a break and we're coming back. We have more around the corner here. And as we kick things off here, Ethan is live in Austin, Texas. My birthplace, my birth state and city. And
it's still here.
Ethan's down there enjoying it, and I love how is it a food tour? Is that what you and Emily are doing? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I wish it was a food tour.
So we'll talk more with Ethan, of course, and we're gonna get things going here the rest of the program. So don't want to miss any of it. Stay with us. Is Utah's very own special dessert food going to get a new look? What you're not gonna like about some of the changes. You don't need to mess with anything that's already perfect. Stay with us. It's KSL Brightside.
West Jordan is inviting you to celebrate America's 250th the Western way. Join us July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for the Western Stampede. A 3-day celebration packed with rodeo thrills, carnival rides, a patriotic parade, a dazzling drone show, and fireworks lighting up the summer sky. It's tradition, community, hometown pride, and family fun all in one unforgettable celebration. Make this Independence Day celebration one to remember. Get your tickets now at westernstampede.com. Proudly presented by Common Spirit.
When it's hot like this, air conditioners struggle to keep up. Parts are under more stress, and sometimes those parts fail. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and no one helps more homeowners maintain and repair their air conditioners than Any Hour Services. As a matter of fact, last year, over 32,000 homeowners called Any Hour Services for help maintaining and repairing their systems. Any Hour Services has over 100 HVAC technicians to help with everything from maintenance, repair, to installing a new system. This summer, there'll be a lot of people told they need to replace their air conditioner, and they'll wonder, do I really need to? If you're told you need to replace your air conditioner and you still have questions, Any Hour Services can give you a second opinion and let you know what options are available. Maybe it just needs a little maintenance or a small repair. Maybe it does need to be replaced, but if you don't feel good about being told you need to replace your air conditioner, don't ignore those feelings. Call Any Hour Services for help with air conditioner maintenance, repair, or to schedule a free second opinion. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow. We're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
America's best warranty from Hyundai includes a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty and 24/7 roadside assistance. Visit your Utah Hyundai dealer for more information.
It all started with a commitment to comfort. Gillette Heating and Air is proud to be Utah County's go-to team for expert HVAC and plumbing solutions. Need a repair, upgrade, or seasonal tune-up? Don't let cost hold you back. With 0% financing available, it's easy to get the work done now and pay later. Plus, save $100 on any repair over $500 and keep your system running strong with a professional tune-up before the heat hits. Visit GilletteHVAC.com or call 385-GET-COOL to book today. Homegrown service pros, financing made simple, comfort made easy.
Carrier, turn to the experts. A Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Is the volatility of the stock market driving you crazy? Is your retirement account sinking, yet you're getting older and you're starting to worry about, will I have enough for retirement? What about the money in the bank? These banks pay nothing these days. How do we get growth to get to retirement account? It's simple. Move into gold and silver. Want to know how to do it? Listen to my show, Striking Gold, with me, Kenny Michaels.
Now on Saturday at 5 p.m.
KSL Brightside with Ethan and Alex. The news just keeps getting weirder on KSL News Radio.
All right, welcome back. You're listening to KSL Brightside. I'm Ethan Millard here with Alex Keary. And guess what? Alex, you and I are going to get into this because this is kind of our thing. Utah's favorite dessert is getting a makeover. Are you ready for this?
Yes, I know something about it. And it's a good place for us to step off here because, oh my gosh. First of all, it's a real shame you're not here. It's actually probably really good that you're not here. During the stream, we ate M&Ms and we ate Skittles.
Yeah, I know.
But Magnolia Bakery just made a drop off, my guy.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
That's a problem.
Listen, they timed it right.
Well,
they
the
timed
newsroom,
it right because we're talking about food.
Well, and for you especially, like they timed it right because you're like, if you're starting a new journey to become a new you, look, and eating treats, obviously, you're the kind of guy who can keep it. You're good at keeping it in check. I'm not, and so when these things rolled up to the studio today, the newsroom.
What did they bring?
The newsroom is all abuzz. Oh. Because we're getting, New York's like famous Magnolia Bakery is coming to Utah. And
I know. Did it open?
I don't know if it's opened yet. No, it's not. We're going to be part of the grand opening, my guy. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So they brought one of the puddings.
Yeah.
And they also brought some cupcakes. And then when we go to break, I'm going to shut this camera off so no one can see the disgusting things I'm going to do to those things. Yeah. So anyway, bottom line is.
Can you hold one up for the camera?
We will when we get him in. Caitlin's walking it in. I think the pudding is. I think it's in an actual. I think it's in just like the classic. It says Magnolia Bakery on here. It's wild because normally they would like ship this stuff across the country, but like I think because we're getting our own.
It's coming here.
Oh boy. Caitlin, don't mess it. Okay, can you see it now? Millard, look at this.
Oh, yeah, I can. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the strawberry crumble pudding that I'm going to be trying here in the break. So there you go.
So can you hear me okay? Is my mic okay?
We hear you great.
Is this like a good spot?
I think if maybe even a touch
this
closer.
This is a good spot?
Just a tiny bit closer.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Perfect.
Maybe right in here?
Yes.
Okay.
And then just sit there and don't move your body the rest of the show.
Okay, that sounds good. Listen, I want to roll out this information though on Jello because everyone knows that Jello is Utah's favorite dessert, or let's say it was in the 90s.
I've got Can I play some sound because we actually do have a.
Okay, yeah.
We actually do have a start here, and we might as well make it official. So let's get it going with the health news.
Okay.
Corey's gonna have to play it because for some reason.
All right, take it away, Corey.
Oh, I think it's working. Hold on. No, but still not. Still doesn't want to do it.
Here we go. It's time for KSL Brightside's health class.
Well, that was great.
Update.
All right,
Ethan.
let me roll it out
Magnolia
here.
Bakery and Holiday did open, I guess today. So, but we're gonna be. We're still going to be part of the rollout. And when I say roll, I mean the actual physical rolls on your body is what I meant. So we're going to be part of that.
Rolling in your chin to the. I'm going to put my chin on a hand truck.
The heck is going on here? Can you see these two?
Oh gosh, those look so good.
Oh gosh, dang it! Well, I'm glad we're during the show. I can't eat it right now, so that's good.
All right. On Tuesday, Kraft Heinz unveiled Jello Simply Jello Simply is a line of ready-to-eat gelatin made with real fruit juice and 25% less sugar. Now, they say they could do this without compromising the bright color that we love about Jello, or the texture, or the flavor. And I'll be interested to see this. I think, though, to prepare, what we should assume when they say they didn't compromise the bright color, texture, or flavor, I think we should assume it's not going to taste the same, but they're telling us it will still taste pretty good, because I would be surprised if they could cut those things out and deliver an identically tasting product.
If it doesn't change anything, then why are you changing it? And why is its own line?
Yeah, that's right.
If it tasted exactly like the normal ones, then you can't just say, oh, it's the same exact thing.
They're rolling out 3 flavors: orange, blueberry, and raspberry lemonade. And the colors will be derived from fruit and vegetable juice and turmeric root extract.
Okay, there you go. See, have you ever been, when you go out of the country, if you go to Europe specifically, they have a ton of rules about artificial colors and flavors. Artificial colors are really funny because, I will say definitively there's some things that Europe does way better than us when it comes to the flavor of something. So Fanta Orange in Europe I love it. But it's also not the bright orange that you get from the American Fanta, but it also tastes actually like a little bit more like orange something, right? And that's not me dissing on, because Fanta has its own place, right? It has a. But when you eat Fruit Loops in Europe, go look. This is the dumbest first world problem I've ever heard, by the way. Oh, the Fruit Loops in Europe don't have as bright of colors when I eat them. Bleh. And but you'll look and you're like, why are these Fruit Loops gray? They're like, yeah, no artificial colors. These are not Fruit Loops, they're just loops. You know what I mean? But they taste like the Fruit Loops. They just don't have the same. Now you look at ours and it looks like each one of them was dipped into the coloring things for your Easter eggs. Like they're that bright
markers.
Here. So we have the other direction where we go a little bit too far on the coloring. But if you're eating Jello and it's even off a little bit, we will freaking notice, especially here. All right.
Oh yeah.
So when Jello changes like some of their formulas, you're in huge trouble. You better do it right. It better taste normal, and it better at least look a little bit. We will if it's. And by the way, blueberries aren't blue. We don't trick ourselves into thinking that they're blue, but even if it's not blue, if it's kind of like off just a little bit, we are going to notice, and we're gonna beat you over the head with it.
When was the last time you had blueberry Jello?
No, that's what I'm saying. I've never had it either. So I'm sure they're trying to feature.
I wonder if it's like they can't do all the flavors in this new recipe. Up with. So blueberry gets introduced just out of necessity.
Yeah.
Alex, secondarily on health class.
Wanted
to bring up something.
We got to take a break.
We're
up against news here. You're not in studio, so I have to cut us off when we're getting way too out of control here.
All right.
Plus, I have a strict thing where I had to eat these things from Magnolia Bakery right now. Otherwise, I wasn't gonna. That's also why. That's the actual reason we're going to break. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll bring up some of our health news that didn't come up, but also what Malaysia is doing, speaking of health, at least from the mental health side of things when it comes to banning social media accounts, what age they're doing at. They will be cut off if they are below this age to try to get on social media in Malaysia. We'll come back. More to go right here. It's KSL Brightside.
It is 1:31 at KSL News Radio. I'm Adam Small to look at our top stories this hour. Utah Senate President Stuart Adams has sent a letter to celebrity businessman Kevin O'Leary asking O'Leary to reduce the proposed Box Elder AI data center project area by 75%. Adams is also calling for additional environmental protections and greater transparency before the project can move forward. We're also hearing from Box Elder County leaders who are responding to both Adams as well as the governor's executive order establishing a statewide data center framework. The county says they are still reviewing the governor's order and the impacts it could have on the Stratos project, and any prior actions related to the Stratos project were based on information provided by MIDA and the developer, which President Adams is a chair for. Overall, they want the public to know that the county has not yet approved, permitted, or authorized the construction of the data center as of now. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. The stalemate between Iran and the U.S. is sending oil prices up today, and analysts say gas prices may not be far behind. Gas prices were coming down recently after there were reports of a ceasefire extension, but Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy says those dips in prices could be short-lived starting as early as today.
The national average we still anticipate could be $4.80 a gallon over the course of the summer. So while we've gotten a little bit of a 2-week break from high prices, we could go right back up. And it's still not impossible that later this summer, even ahead of July 4, that we could see the national average pressing $5 a gallon.
According to AAA, the national average for regular unleaded gas today is $4.32 a gallon. It's 22 cents higher than that here in Utah. Your money at this moment, the Dow is still moving up. It is currently up 49 points, now over 51,082 points. The S&P 500 is currently up 30. The NASDAQ is up 165. The cost of oil is up almost $5 a barrel. Coming up, we're starting a warm-up trend today. We'll get a full look at weather forecast as well as traffic next. KSL News Time 1:33.
How will we ever defeat the British?
By remembering what we're fighting for. General, a country of our own that will one day celebrate 250 years. How will we celebrate, sir? By going to Strong Volkswagen, where every vehicle is a dime.
A dime, sir?
Yes, 1 dime down at Strong Volkswagen. Hear, hear! With great price reductions on 250 vehicles.
It sounds glorious, sir.
Oh, it is. Lease new 2026 Jetta S, just $235 a month, $235. All-wheel drive Atlas, just $432 a month. And you get a lifetime warranty. Lifetime. And financing, sir? Those with a job and a dime shall drive away.
1 dime down.
The 250 sales event.
Save thousands with event pricing on 250 vehicles.
At Strong Volkswagen. For over 70 years, Strong Volkswagen.
Located downtown, strongvw.com.
Strongvw.com.
And no tax, right, sir?
Well, for details, call 801-596-2200.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter-churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home and auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Traffic and weather together is brought to you by UCCU. Receive 4% cash back on cruises at uccu.com. Here's Ricky Meese.
We do have a crash in Draper blocking the left lane at the bottom of the on-ramp to southbound I-15 at 114th South. Then in Utah County, a crash northbound I-15 approaching 4th South in Springville. UHP is going to block that left lane. The Good Feet store, supporting you with comfort no matter what the day brings. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, expect temperatures to gradually rise as we work through the week. Look for a high of 81 today, 84 tomorrow, 88 on Wednesday. We could be upwards of 90 degrees come Thursday. Right now it is partly cloudy and 75 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. I'm Adam Small from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
KSL Brightside with Ethan Millard.
Alex, that's a great way to get your kids off social media.
And Alex Curie.
Yeah, my real goal with the new social media stuff is to show up in my kids' feed.
This is KSL Brightside on KSL News Radio.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in today to KSL Brightside. Oh my goodness, Alex, how was it? How was the?
I did.
How was the Magnolia?
Yeah. So Magnolia Bakery is officially opened up in Holiday.
Did you eat it?
Yeah, I had the strawberry crumble pudding. And
I'm so jealous.
I know, you should be. Yeah, and I walked out a couple. You know, you want to become popular in the newsroom? You walk out a box of the Magnolia cupcakes and go, hey, we're just, KSL Brightside's pretty new here. Do you guys want to try some of these? That's how I made new friends, like just now in the newsroom. So yes, Magnolia Bakery's opened up, and unfortunately or fortunately, it will be in our lives quite a bit, I think, in the next little while.
It is, yeah.
We love somebody was saying, they're like, so they go New York, are they doing other locations? Like, why Utah? I go, what do you mean, why Utah? Like, we obsess over this stuff. We will eat a dessert, and we'll crown it champion, because that's what we do. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to be obsessed about a dessert place all freaking day long, man.
Well, and what do I care if they have other locations? The point is they've got one here. This is the whole point.
That's exactly right.
So, Alex,
it's like 10 minutes from your house. It's like 10 minutes from your house, by the way. I'm really sad about Cottonwood.
It's still in the old Cottonwood Mall area, right?
I think they might be going that direction. I don't know. The one that's in Holiday, I think. Well, I don't know. I don't know where the actual location is. All I know is.
But it's in Holiday.
Yes, and we're going to be there, I think, at some point in the next coming weeks here. So, yes, Millard.
We are in a couple of weeks. So, I want to talk about what's happening in Malaysia with their social media. Do you have something you wanted to play here? Is there an intro you wanted to play?
No, we had the health news. We already played on that. We already played the health news. I think this technically is part of that. It's kind of an extension here because it's certainly the mental health side. I'm interested to see how they're going to handle this thing there.
So, Malaysia began enforcing rules today, barring children younger than 16 from having social media accounts. So, of course, this is something that's widely talked about across the world. Here in the United States, there are a number of states who have enacted social media restrictions on minors. It has not gone smoothly at all. And I think for the most part, this stuff has been in the courts, inconsistently enforced. We're still trying to kind of figure it out. But Malaysia says they've got it figured out. So if you are under 16, no social media for you. They're going to give you basically give you basically a month to take if you're younger than 16, you have social media, they're giving you a month to download any data, photos, anything like that you want, get it off of there, and then your account's going to be closed. And then they said they're going to face social media companies that allow minors on their platform are going to face fines of up to $2.5 million. Wow. Now, here's what's interesting, though, is if parents help their children to bypass the account, then the parents will not be penalized. Although I did get the impression that they would still close the account, but the parents would not be fined $2.5 million.
No, but I would assume
for helping their kids circumvent the rules.
Well, so I think that part of it is, and that's the right decision, but it also feels like that they could have also been like, hey, we're gonna, this is Malaysia, man. We're gonna go after you if you are breaking any of these kind of rules, small or big. We don't tolerate any of that kind of stuff. But
is 16 the right age, do you think?
It's actually worse at 16, Ethan, to be quite honest with you. Like,
I would have said 16 was a good age, but now that my daughter's 15, I do not think 16 is old enough. I really don't.
Ethan, I have a 17-and-a-half-year-old, and will be 16 in the next couple of weeks, and then I have a 13, almost 14 daughter. So the two boys, and then the girl, and then our girl, those oldest three, and these are like relatively responsible. I mean, these are just like these are normal kids. And good kids is exactly what they are. And I fear, like, all the time. And when I say 16, if whether or not it's the quote unquote good age, my son ramped up it's not even about social media. Because it's not like he's posting stuff. It's more just about they're consuming the content more than they're posting it, at least in my house.
Right.
But the biggest one is my son communicates with all of his friends, anyone that matters in his life. Like, and I'm obviously not in that group of people that matters that much because I have just like the regular old. I'm on the regular old text thread. He is snapping all of the. I sounded like such an idiot right there. He's snapping the other children with his snappies. It's all Snapchat. Like, all of the back and forths are all Snapchat. He's on it constantly. It is something that by the way, it's like off of his phone. That app was like technically stopped.
What age do you think? What age do you think is appropriate?
We've gone back and forth, and like, my kids haven't made social media accounts for themselves necessarily, right? Like, I don't think my daughter has any of those things. I don't think my son, my 16-year-old, I don't think he cares that much about those things. He will, though. And I think that 16 is fine, but it's also just every house is different, right? I mean, and for us, when somebody goes, "Oh, you have teenagers. What was the age that you guys decided to give them phones?" And the thing was it was different for the first three. And I've landed a little bit on, I think 7th grade is okay because that's when we need to be able to have them get a hold of us more and to be able to talk to us more than just like having a phone. I mean, sorry, we've used the watch before, and I think we need a little bit more than that. And so when they're in that first year of junior high, which is up in our neck of the woods, is 7th grade, we've made that decision, been like, okay, 7th grade has been okay, I think, for these kids. And I don't even know if that's right, because then we're talking about that 13, 14 kind of number. And
it's not right.
I don't know if it's right.
None of this is correct.
And it isn't. When did you guys get Ruby a phone, for example?
Oh, it's been a while. I'm talking about social media more.
But social media, we don't let them have those apps on their phone. I think we let the Snapchat thing go. When he turned about 16.
I think the only way this is going to work if social media restrictions are put in place not a day before age 35. I think that's the only way.
I was like trying to guess.
Be able to do it.
I was guessing in my head. Caitlin,
it's the only thing that's going to work.
Does that seem like a good age? It's like our producer, most of the people who work in the newsroom, none of them are on social media then, if that's the age group that you're going to give them. There's no way that they can pull that.
That sounds right to me.
I know.
That sounds right to me.
I mean, listen, there's something to that. There's a reason that my wife will tell you, too. She has deleted the Instagram app off of her phone and reinstalled it 17 times, I think, during our marriage.
Yeah, so many times.
I get it. I can see. I mean, honestly, I'm in my mid-40s, and I see the big waste of time that it's become. I see how detrimental it can be when you start thinking about the comparison game and all those things you can do on that, or the stuff where you go, I want to reset my algorithm here. Why am I getting all this stuff? Like I've started to use the I'm not interested in this content button way more these days on that. And it's actually a good tool because it'll start kind of killing off some of the things you don't actually want to see because it just tries stuff. And if you think it's just trying stuff on you as a 40-something-year-old, it's just trying stuff on your kid too. And then they go down a rabbit hole, and then suddenly they're watching stuff that is insane, by the way, on social media, or they're getting opinions that is insane. 16 years old in Malaysia, I'm glad they're setting some limit. I hope that there's a way to do it. And then at the same time, they're letting parents basically just say, well, it'll ultimately be up to us because they're not going to punish the parents for doing it early.
So there are 5 important dates in my adult life. There are 5 dates that really kind of stand out as major milestones in my life. 1 was the day I deleted Twitter. Number 2 was the day I deleted Instagram. And then 3, 4, and 5 were the dates my children were born.
I like how Emily's not involved in any of these things. Emily didn't make the top 5.
That's right.
Well, she did with the kids. Technically, she's part of that.
Implied.
Yeah, I guess she was technically a part of some of those. So it works out.
So, Alex, I'm not in studio and I don't have access. Are we getting any texts at all?
Oh, I need to sign on.
I'm just curious.
No, we are, and I'm neglecting them because I'm just so darn worried about.
Everyone's just texting into a black hole, basically. What's happening?
Yeah, let me. I'll get it going here. We'll read some of those responses when we come back. Actually, it's a good time for a break for us, so we'll return.
Yes, it is.
We have more around the corner. You don't want to miss any of it because KSL Brightside continues here. When we do come back, how about the lunch shaming? You familiar with what this is? Well, lunch shaming is apparently a phenomenon happening at your children's school. We'll talk about it next, right here on KSL Brightside.
Can you hear it? That's the sound of nature waking up in Box Elder County. Spring has sprung, and the first visitors are already here. From grebes to geese, Bear River Bird Refuge is alive with the sound of thousands of wings. And it's not just the birds who are invited. There's plenty for you to enjoy. Experience the world-class minerals at Crystal Hot Springs. Stand on the spot where the railroads joined and forged the destiny of a nation at Golden Spike National Historic Park. Check out the jaw-dropping murals up and down Tremonton's charming Main Street. The list goes on and on. Hungry? From fine dining to classic comfort food, Box Elder County has something that's sure to hit the spot. In Box Elder County, the air is fresher, the sky is wider, and spring is in full bloom. Come wake up your senses and plan your spring escape at visitboxeldercounty.com. Produced in partnership with the Utah Office of Tourism. Sign up for KSL Text Alerts. Get breaking news and traffic updates by texting the word news to 57500. Want access to exclusive contests? Text contest to 57500. Jazz fans, text the word jazz for breaking jazz updates. And Cougar fans, text BYU to 57500 for the latest on the Cougars. Message and data rates may apply.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Join the KSL Greenhouse Show on June 6th from 8 to 2 at the Weber Basin Water Garden Fair. It's at 2837 East Highway 193 Layton. Enjoy landscape experts, vendors, free food, and prizes.
Any Hour Services can make sure your AC keeps you cool this summer. Whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
KSL Brightside with Ethan and Alex. Turn your afternoon around on KSL News Radio.
All right, we're back. Welcome back. This is KSL Brightside. We are so glad you joined us. And Alex, we were talking just this last segment about Malaysia's efforts to ban social media accounts for children under 16. They're enforcing that. They say they're serious about that. One of the reasons they're serious about that is they say that they are trying to protect children from harmful content, cyberbullying, and platform features that are designed to encourage addiction, basically. And we are all familiar with those things, and they are very, very real problems.
Yeah.
And but you don't need to be on social media, unfortunately, to worry about bullying. That can still happen. In fact, across the country, there's this new bullying phenomenon. It's called lunch shaming, where classmates secretly photograph others while they're eating, and then they share the images online. They say that this affects student self-esteem, worsens body image concerns, and makes students avoid cafeterias altogether. Basically, there are two types of images that people are going for, which I think are hilarious. And that is someone that looks ugly eating food, right? Taking a big bite, food in their mouth, or someone who is eating by themselves.
By the way, we all
eating by themselves, eating lunch by themselves.
The worst version, I wouldn't say, that you're ugly while you're eating. We all look very compromised in the eating situation, right?
No one looks good.
No, so when you have one of your eyes like half open and you're taking a giant bite of that sandwich, you can catch a picture in there that makes you look absolutely foolish. And that's what they're talking about, right? They're basically talking about embarrassing you in this compromising weird moment, which you and I actually talked about a little bit of this before years ago when the taking pictures of any candidate at a state fair, that any presidential candidate eating a corn dog, they're like, they will look so dumb eating this corn dog. And they're like, hey, look at this person who wants to be president. Look at him eating a hot dog now. Well, they look dumb. And that's the idea. As if my kids need to have one more thing to think about at school to be nervous about that somebody is watching them over their shoulder with. Lunch is already a weird thing in my kid's life anyway. I already walked through this, and I still have a hard time. They won't eat school lunch. They won't eat like the school lunch, right? They have to eat it. It has to be made from home. But now the cool thing is, and you could probably – this is the one argument that you have for open campuses, which I hate here in the state of Utah. I can't stand open campuses at schools. We're just getting kids in cars and letting them drive out of the parking lot and telling them, hey, you better get back here as quick as you can after you get through that fast food line. And then they all just crash into each other, which totally actually does happen, by the way. At least it does at Davis High School. It's the dumbest thing ever. I feel like lobbyists from the insurance companies are asking schools to keep your open campuses there because they just are making tons of money off of you and I. That being said, you go eat somewhere else so that no one has to watch you, so you don't have to run the risk of somebody taking a picture of you eating at your school, heaven forbid.
And it's a big problem. And it's especially it's a particular problem in cafeterias, because cafeterias are they have fewer staff per student ratio than other parts of the school. So it's easier for kids to be bullied. In fact, according to a University of Virginia research study on bullying and child mental health, they said that in their research of 25,000 students, 14% of elementary school students and 18% of middle and high school students reported being bullied in the cafeteria in the past month. That's almost 1 in 5 at the junior high school and high school level. So we need to teach our kids that it is wrong to photograph someone with their cell phones, record them without their consent.
Yeah,
without
just
their
at
knowledge.
any time. At any time.
I think that we need to start establishing things and saying, hey, I know that you could do this. I know that it's there. I know that you could record it. It is wrong for you to do it. And it is a moral failure of you when you photograph someone or record them without their permission.
So a big thing
I think we got to start just being clear.
Yeah.
I think we just got to be, it's so wild. We have so few ways to help our children make like everyday moral and ethical decisions like this. How did this one escape us? How did this one get past us? Why are we not telling our kids every chance we get, it is wrong to photograph or record someone without their consent? That includes your friends. That includes total strangers. It's wrong to do it. And we gotta get that through young people's heads. I've seen kids out in public surreptitiously recording someone, and it's really disheartening.
It's awkward.
And I regret I didn't say something. I should have said something, but in the moment I was honestly like afraid that the camera would be turned on me, and then I'd be that guy.
Right. That's exactly right.
You know?
Because then they go,
They'd
look
be
at
like,
the content I got.
Look at this creep talking to a high school kid. Look at this creep.
Look at Ken over here trying to ask for the manager to get us to stop recording this thing. I get it, because that's the same thing that happens. My kids will. I will tell you too. Like, make the weird and uncomfortable decision to say, "Let me see your phone," to your kids, and then go through their photos. And then just say, there's no freaking reason you should have this. So one thing that happened with our kids is we started, and again, like I said, that's an uncomfortable thing. And it almost feels like you're violating their privacy, but at the same time, you have them in check by saying, I'll look at your camera. I pay for the privilege of being able to look through your photos to make sure that you're not taking or, heaven forbid, sending inappropriate pictures, back and forth. And inappropriate doesn't necessarily mean naked. What we're talking about here is the ones where you go, because a popular thing was too. They would put it on the 0.5 magnification on the camera, right? They put it on 0.5, which makes everybody look like kind of the fish. It's like the fish lens kind of thing. I'm like looking to the direction of people who are in there younger than I are, right, guys? And so they would have like the thing, and it would make their face look weird. Their nose would look big. And I definitely had my son take a picture of like my daughter at that 0.5 when it kind of right in her face. Their whole thing was they get the camera right in their face and do it. Then it makes them look like really weird, right? And then that's the whole thing. You're basically in a funhouse mirror. You've taken a picture of it and then gone and leave it up to older brothers to try to embarrass their sisters. But at the same time, like, you embarrass a 13-year-old and you send it to a group chat of a 13-year-old girl, like, you already know. I don't have to tell you how bad that can make somebody feel and what rabbit hole that could send you down when it comes to how badly they could, beat themselves up over looks and blah, blah. On a doctored image, essentially, is what it is. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to find you in a compromising spot. Look at him taking a bite. His eyes are closed. You could see his teeth, and that one's kind of a little janky. All the things that could come from it that none of us would want to ever be seen in. And you got to just, I think you're 100% right, Ethan. Just have a discussion. And like I said, have that uncomfortable conversation that now I'm going to have to start doing more of, which is, hand me your phone, let me see your photos, and hand it over. Let me see what's going on here. And if they know that I'm doing that audit every so often, they better get their stuff together, because if they get found with something else on there, that phone is going through the shredder, man. That thing is not going to be a part of their lives.
Yeah. It's stuff like that is just so frustrating. Can I bring up something?
Yeah, you've got time. Absolutely.
Here that we actually had in our health class, because this is health food. What I'm about to talk about is health food.
Okay.
But we didn't have a chance to get to it. And I wanted to fill it in right now because I was feeling really bad after that segment.
I'm all for it.
And I know we only have a minute left before we go to the news. And I didn't want to leave it like that. So I want to do this. Let me ask you first, Alex. Does it feel like the number of gummy candy options has dramatically expanded at the store?
I think that candy in general, yeah, and you know what? Yes. Now that you say it, the answer is yes. And we're a gummy family. Like
us too.
We absolutely. We are putting Haribo's children through college. We have the Albanese gummy family. Like, you're welcome for all the stuff that we're investing in your future because I buy all the things. And then those the peel ones now. The gummy peely things. Peel ones. I eat the heck out of those things, dude.
The nerds clusters.
Yes, the nerd clusters,
right?
classic.
Just the gummy world is huge right
anything.
Now. There's actually a reason for this. It's the economy. The economy is doing this. Now, here's what's happening. So gummy candy uses inexpensive bulk ingredients, sugar, corn syrup, water, gelatin, easy to get, cheap. They make them huge, just truckloads.
Yeah.
Right?
What about fresh fruit peaches for the peach rings? Yeah, I think you missed that ingredient.
Didn't I tell you there are no peaches in Utah this year? We already talked about that. Freeze.
Wait, hold on a minute. You're telling me
total orchard failure.
You're telling me that those fruit there aren't 100% fruit juice gummies that are out there? I know what we're getting into when we. And by the way, you say that those are cheap to make, but you know as well as I do, those are not inexpensive items that we're buying. Gummies are not freaking cheap, dude.
No, but you can get better margins off of it than chocolate, which relies on cocoa beans, which is a volatile market, globally traded. It can have its own price hikes and supply shortages. So
are we going to start getting those commercials instead of the gold commercials? That's why I invest in chocolate pods out of Central Africa. Yeah, it's chocolate futures. I'm trading on cocoa beans coming out of Central America, Central and South America. There's no way that people are going to slow down on buying the chocolate, but the gummies, I think, have turned into my favorite candy. All right. More going up around the corner here for KSL Brightside. Stay right here with us on KSL News Radio.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good afternoon, 2 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Adam Small to look at our top stories this hour. Salt Lake City officially has more competition in the race for a Major League Baseball expansion team. Sacramento is now placing a bid. Their coalition says they have nearly $2 billion of funding in place, as well as land for a new stadium. However, KSL Sports MLB insider Brian Priest says Salt Lake City still has one major advantage, and that's the established ownership group in the Miller family.
We saw how good they were with the Jazz. I mean, sure, they never won a championship, but they were a solid, stable franchise for 3+ decades.
That was a key reason USA Today's Bob Nightingale said Salt Lake is the heavy favorite for the Western expansion team. A former Real Salt Lake player who joined the team when he was just 16 is now suing team management. In a lawsuit, Jeffrey Dusnub claims that he was forced to change in the same locker room as adult players and experienced such severe abuse that he was driven to attempt suicide and has since been diagnosed with PTSD, resulting in the loss of his soccer career. Dusnub is seeking $100 million in damages, $20 for medical costs and $80 for the lost potential earnings as a professional soccer player. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. A federal appeals court today ruled the Pentagon illegally banned transgender troops from military service.
In a split decision, a federal appeals court in Washington, D.C. said the Trump administration's transgender military ban is likely unconstitutional and, quote, appears to be driven by a bare desire to harm a politically unpopular group. The Supreme Court last year allowed the ban to go into place as lawsuits challenging the policy went through the courts. While Monday's decision barred the Pentagon from expelling transgender soldiers, the court did allow a ban on transgender recruits from joining the military. Peter Haralambous, ABC News.
Your money at this moment, the Dow is currently up 46 points. It's up to over 51,078 right now. The S&P 500 is up 19. The NASDAQ is up 114. The cost of oil is now up more than $5 a barrel just today. Coming up, the warm-up has begun. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time 2:02.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
The Children's Center Utah provides a unique service in our communities by meeting the needs of very young children and their caregivers. Here's a Little Minds, Big Hope message from Dr. Kyle Smith, the Children's Center Utah's child and adolescent psychiatrist.
Did you know that moves, divorce, illness, or the loss of a loved one can affect infants and young children long before they know how to talk about it? Life changes impact people of all ages. Find out more at childrencenterutah.org.
This year, Utahns are celebrating the 250th anniversary of our country, Utah style, because everything from Utah's red rock deserts to our snowy peaks are worth celebrating. It's our land, our communities. Join us in celebrating our country with Utah style. Join the statewide celebration. Get involved at america250.utah.gov. Brought to you by America First Credit Union.
Escape to the beauty of Bear Lake with an unforgettable mountain adventure at Beaver Creek Lodge in Garden City, Utah. Relax in cozy accommodations, then saddle up with Logan Canyon horseback riding for a scenic ride through the breathtaking Bear Lake Mountains. Take in stunning views of crystal blue waters, aspen groves, and wildflowers. Then enjoy lunch with panoramic views. Unwind with dinner, and of course a raspberry shake at Some Beaches restaurant in Laketown. Adventure, scenery, and relaxation. Plan your perfect getaway at bearlake.org.
Doug Wright, and I'm here with Monty from Connecticut Quality Water Systems of Salt Lake, an authorized Connecticut independent dealer. Now, Monty, don't all of the other water softeners require us to basically trust our home's water to electronics? If a power surge happens, a fried circuit board, or the power just goes out suddenly, aren't you back to scrubbing hard water scale and dry skin?
Yes, we believe the best technology is simple. That's why Connecticut's premium systems are non-electric. While other softeners rely on finicky computers and electronics, Connecticut runs on the kinetic energy of moving water. Nothing to plug in, no buttons to push, and zero electricity.
I've had a Connecticut soft water system in my home for many years, and I've never had to do anything to it except occasionally add a little salt. And I love that it never requires me to set or program anything. Dee loves that she always has the soft water. So do what I did and go to softwaterutah.com to learn how your family can enjoy the benefits of soft water without the hassles of traditional water softeners. That's softwaterutah.com.
Traffic and weather together is brought to you by UCCU. Improve cash flow with a home equity line of credit. Here's Ricky Meese.
We do have a crash in Utah County causing some delays. It's northbound I-15 just before 4th South in Springville. And if you're traveling that area, the left lane is blocked to traffic and you will see backups. So just be prepared for an extra 5 to 10 minutes to get through that stretch. A little bit more heavy and slow traffic northbound I-15 in Linden. This summer, dine above the city at the Roof Restaurant. From iconic appetizers and entrees to delicious desserts, all served with breathtaking sunset views. The Roof is your perfect summer tradition. Reserve today at theroofslc.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, expect highs in the low 80s today and only getting warmer day by day as we work through the week. A high of 84 forecasted tomorrow, 88 Wednesday. We could be back up to 90 degrees by Thursday. Right now it is 77 degrees and partly cloudy skies in downtown Salt Lake City. I'm Adam Small from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
KSL Brightside with Ethan Miller.
Is this what they mean by getting the band back together again?
And Alex Keary.
Yeah, except this one is a reunion tour nobody asked for.
This is KSL Brightside on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back to KSL Brightside. I'm Ethan Millard here with Alex Keary. And Alex, I've got some interesting numbers for you that I want to share with you.
Yeah, shoot, man. I love some new numbers, man. Let's see the thing going on.
Did you know? So everyone's been fretting about the housing market, right? high interest rates, high prices. It's just been a struggle if you work in real estate.
Yep.
So the National Association of Realtors, they say that in 2025, only 71% of agents reported that real estate was their only profession. A full 30% reported having some other work,
some side
to pay
hustle.
the bills.
Yeah.
This is the lowest it's been. I'm sorry, it's the highest it's been since 2005. In other words, more are reporting other side hustles that going all the way back to 2005. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but it's a very, very high number of realtors who have to have other work
right.
in order to stay afloat.
The headline here is they're finding other work because the traditional selling homes to pay all the bills all year long has not been working out because
it's extremely challenging.
It's coming to a slow. It's not a halt, but it's definitely slowed down a ton. The interest rates are there. The prices are still pretty darn high. On top of the fact that the interest rates are high, it's a weird time to buy a home right now, and with good reason, people are nervous about it and trying to jump in right now because. But at the same time, there's always still like this idea of, but I'm also just throwing money at my landlord or the rent is high too. Rent's higher than it's ever been too. So you're kind of looking at it and going, rent's high, but I'd rather throw the high mortgage payment at it every month if I could make that work. And so, but it's still, I would say people's confidence in buying a home right now definitely is down.
It is down. Last year's existing home sales pace was the worst since 1982. So saying it's a tough market, I think, is really understating it. And but there could be some news on the horizon because as kind of a counterpoint to those dismal numbers, Berkshire Hathaway, who they lost their beloved lead. Well, they didn't lose him.
I was going to say, wait, what? Why'd you bury the lead?
Warren Buffett, though, was retired.
Right.
From Berkshire Hathaway. So they lost him as their day-to-day guide.
Gone but not forgotten.
Gone, but he's still in the boardroom actually.
Right, sure.
So he's still on the board. So they've agreed to acquire home builder Taylor Morrison Home in a $6.8 billion deal, basically signaling that Berkshire thinks that we are effectively finding the bottom in the real estate market. And they think from here, at this point, real estate's a place to buy back in now. So they're paying $6.8 billion to buy a home builder, and they're going to ride this forward. They think we're close enough that it is worth putting money into real estate.
Well, let me
That's
ask
what
you
they're
this.
saying.
Yeah, because you're in the financial futures game and just looking at this stuff, and it's fascinating you brought that up. You're like, hey, that's an indicator. If Berkshire Hathaway is bought in, they feel like right now things are going to start. They're not going to buy in high. They're going to do it at a time that's going to be worth their while.
Yeah,
but do you think also like a move like that actually, even just them buying that and making, them buying a significant home builder, business or, this company from them, that also is something that could jumpstart it because people see that and they go, oh, hey, Berkshire Hathaway. That's what I'm asking is I wonder if that's the case. It is good to look at that the people who are analyzing the markets and trying to read what the future of home building looks like just bought a home building company because they would only do that if they felt like it was the upside is there.
If they felt like they were reasonably close to some kind of turnaround. And so I think I interpret that as good news also, Alex. Now, of course, what Berkshire Hathaway's doing, they bought a home builder. That's different from you or I investing in, a rental property or something like that. Right?
Sure.
These are two very, very different things. But it's but I would hope that I think, you know what I think? I think more, and this is just the impression I get, I think more families than we realize could buy a home if they wanted to. I think, though, people are a little bit afraid to because of the high interest rates. And so they're kind of waiting for things to loosen up. But that's a real double-edged sword because what can we expect when interest rates start falling?
Then the market does get... Yeah, then the market does.
Then prices start to go up again.
Yeah.
So, it's like, are you going to be able to time that? In fact, I'll tell you, because I get this question all the time in my other job, I know you love to hear about that. With my other work at Teton, we get this question all the time. And I'll tell you what I would tell my kids when they are looking at a home, this is the advice I give them, because I can't give you advice or anyone else advice. I'm not your investment advisor, but I would tell them.
Right.
This.
Also, I'm so smart myself. I don't need your dumb advice, Ethan.
You don't need my dumb advice. No, but I would say this: if your goal is to own a home or buy a new home, get yourself personally prepared, save up money for a down payment, get to know the market, get to know what you want. And when you find a home that you can afford and that you like, then buy it. Then just pull the trigger on it. If you start to try and wait and time that transaction, you run into a real risk. Market timing is a real risk across all investment classes. And so that's what I would tell them when they get to that point. And then once you buy in, then you can do something like wait a couple of years and then refinance at a better interest rate, right? Then you can kind of take advantage of other opportunities.
Worrying about the interest rate is a bad game, because you'll always be able to convince yourself that that payment's going to be really high with the current interest rates. But they typically
look what happened.
I told you this too. Like, what's funny is that I tend to we get contacted immediately when rates go down even just a little bit by our mortgage guy or the lender or whomever to go, you think about refinancing? Because they want that closing money to reclose on refinance, right? And you know what? It's tempting though when it does go down a couple of ticks and you go, dude, I could be saving $500 a month just off of this if I were to do this now. And so it is a tough game to play back and forth, but I'm the same way. I'm the same way where I'm like, if you can roll the dice right now, there's not really a terrible time to invest in a home, because that's just one of those things that it just feels like that they're going to keep going up at some point anyway. Even if they go down for a dip, which doesn't happen that often, it seems like it comes right back up again. Yeah.
Look what happened during COVID. I know a lot of people when home prices spiked during COVID, a lot of people said, well, I can't buy now. I'm going to wait for prices to come down. Well, what?
Till when?
They never got the chance,
right?
Did they?
Till when? And
they never got the chance.
Yeah, and they'll always convince themselves. So I didn't do it back then. I'm certainly not going to do it now. And I will say, I got lucky because of when we got our house. Here's how we timed the market, because we're so dang smart in my house. I just love like here's what we did. We closed on March 10th, and Rudy Gobert got COVID on March 11th. Our house, it's not like we could have timed it better though, because as soon as that went down and as soon as COVID hit, and then all the things that started happening financially from that, a year and a half later, 2 years later, we looked like dang geniuses, when we bought the house that we did. Yeah. And we're like, we got out at the right time. It's like, we did not time that. And here's the other thing. Who would have thought in a million years, you're going to have this massive pandemic and home prices are just going to be amazing. That investment's going to be awesome for you. Like it was the same thing. I was like, oh, the COVID hits, a pandemic hits once in a generation, once in a 2-generation thing happens. Yeah.
Years,
And it happened. And guess what? Yeah. Everyone's going to start buying RVs and watches and and houses and cars.
Baseball cars.
Yeah. Electric cars, all this stuff. Yes. Baseball. Yeah. All that stuff's going to go out of it's going to skyrocket. Why? We don't know why. We have no idea why. Because people are at home and they're able to surf eBay a little bit easier now. I don't know. No other explanation except for that. You got this money that came to them for free. I mean, look, that's why people went to Steve's stimulus barn, right? Because everything was $1,500. You think about how many things came in. Like you forget about like these weird checks that we were just getting, right? Or tax credits or whatever it might be.
That was amazing.
All that did was make people go, hey, I got that tax credit. I think we should get that Rolex we've been thinking about, sweetheart. It makes no sense to me, but I'm not in the financial game, so you can't try to explain it. But one thing we do know is that buying houses has always been a pretty good it's always been a pretty darn good investment. And regardless of kind of when you do it.
For the most part, it works out. And although I'll tell you, I think I've become a bigger and bigger fan of condos. I think condos are the way to go. You get your own property, you get your own place.
Yeah.
There's no mowing.
There is something to not having to mow your own yard. I will say, I get jealous of people. They're like, yeah, we have an HOA, and they take it. My mom, they mow her yard. They do the snow removal stuff, and I'm like, that's great for her, and she's 80. But you know what? It's also great it'd be great for me, and I'm in my 40s. I wish I would never have to do a snow shovel again. I actually listed our snowblower for sale. It was a real seminal moment for us this weekend.
Really?
Ethan at my house. Yeah. We cleaned the shed out, and I listed our old Honda.
Is it a 2-stage?
Yeah. It's a high.
What do you want for it?
What are you willing to do?
I've got a snowball. I know. Curiosity.
It's
I'm not
It's
negotiating here.
not as good as this. It's got that track drive. System.
Oh, it's got a track drive.
Yeah,
do you like
but
that?
I love it. But I'll tell you this: it's a 32-year-old machine, and it's never run better.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's those freaking Hondas, man. It's those Hondas. I feel like we're doing
I
a
love
Honda
my 2-stage, but it can float sometimes. My 2-stage can float.
What's that mean?
That bothers me quite a bit.
What do you mean it can float?
It'll go kind of get up on the snow. It's kind of hard to keep it on It's hard to keep it on the.
You need to hit arm day at the gym.
Pavement.
You need to hit arm day at the gym. Yeah.
Oh, it's my problem.
This is operator error for sure. It is. If you want me to come out and give you a tutorial on how to run a snowblower at your house, I'll do it.
Well, I'll tell you, Alex, I would keep our front yard because I would keep the front yard because we actually have these really beautiful flower beds. So Emily's been working a lot. She's got this dahlia hobby that has been just phenomenal.
We planted dahlias this year.
The whole neighborhood walks past her house and stops, takes pictures of it, things like that. I throw rocks at them.
I thought you meant the dahlias. And people, good. You don't want to hurt. You don't want to hurt the flowers.
I don't want them.
Right.
But the backyard, Alex, could disappear because you know what it is?
It's Homer Simpson.
It is.
It's Homer Simpson with those clips in his back. That's you guys to show how skinny he is.
No, the backyard looks great. But you know what it is? It is a beautiful, lush, green dog toilet. And I just...
The truth bombs we get on this show. All right, we got to take a break. Millard, you know what? That seems like a great time to go to break. We're taking your text, by the way, 57500. You can weigh in on all the things we've been talking about today. We were asking people about Malaysia's 16-year-old. At the age of 16, that's when you're going to be able to do social media in Malaysia. That's where the start is. And if you're a company and you're allowing people under the age of 16 to get onto their services, you're going to get fined in the 8-digit category for those types of violations. We'll talk about that. We'll take your text. I want to hear more because I'm actually just trying to cheat off of other people's better parenting. Ethan, like we do a lot on this show. Tell us what it is. When's the best age for kids to be able to be led on social media, if ever? 57500. We're also taking some people sending in some texts for some traffic situations here that we'll be able to get to as well. Coming up, though, right around the corner, let's get to some of the reasons that remote work and what that means for the current employment situation for the youth across our country. I'll also give you an update on one of my son's jobs as well, Ethan, that didn't last more than 2 shifts. All right, stay with us. More to go. It is KSL Brightside on KSL News Radio.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
This summer, Utah Festival Opera and Musical Theater is back. We're celebrating the 250th anniversary of America with a season that sings our nation's history and yours. First, freedom, passion, and unforgettable storytelling with the Tony Award-winning musical 1776. Starring two Michaels, renowned singer Michael Ballum and Metropolitan Opera singer Michael Sokol. Then, Gilbert and Sullivan's silly and swashbuckling, okay, not really, but at least it's a pirate word, The Pirates of Penzance, plus the moving romance of the last 5 years. This year, we're even honoring the legal system with the courtroom duo, Scalia Ginsburg and the lighthearted trial by jury. The first is based on the true story of two Supreme Court justices who couldn't agree on anything except for their love of opera. The second is another Gilbert and Sullivan romp that'll leave you laughing. Join world-class singers, a full orchestra, and the magic of live theater in historic downtown Logan. Bonus, Utah teachers and students get free tickets. UtahFestival.org.
KSL Brightside with Ethan and Alex. Your lunch hour just got more interesting on KSL News Radio.
Okay, we're back. And I'm so glad.
Why? Wait.
So,
what do you have?
Check this out. Let me roll out the details of this remote work conundrum. Okay. So, experts are saying that remote work is contributing to youth unemployment. Because here's what's happening. When a company is going to hire a young person very, very early in their career, what they want is they want to bring them in to a team where they can learn the skills they need to learn in place. And they're much less willing to hire a new person into remote work jobs because they won't have the opportunity for some of that training that they need to be able to do. And so a lot of those remote work jobs have not been going to new people, to young people starting out their career. And according to experts, it's contributed to 64% of the increase in youth unemployment has been because employers don't think they're right for remote level jobs. If they have young people, they want to bring them in person.
It's interesting because the remote job was how you attracted people till when? It seemed like not that long ago.
Even still.
Right.
Still, because there are fewer and fewer remote jobs available.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of companies are pivoting,
Yes.
but people still love it. And so that's still a big draw.
So I was actually chatting with somebody about this because what was interesting is during all of these, and again, the pandemic changed everything, right? It became the thing. So we were working through, I stayed at this job. I was on the air still during all of the COVID stuff and during all the, we were doing our, our short season of Nightside again as we came back during the pandemic too. And then even after that, at some point we were having meetings, and maybe some of the folks who are hearing me out in the newsroom, like they were part of some of those meetings, but like, for a long time, it was, hey, we were having these huge company meetings that were all on Zoom, obviously, because we were, a good chunk of the workforce was being asked not to come in, not just to, hey, work from home would be great. It was don't come in, and then it turned into, hey, you can come in if you want to still, and then it turned into, hey, start coming back 2 times a week. In fact, here's your schedule now. You're gonna start doing this. And then it started to get weird because the people who were working from home, we're in meetings, and they were like, they were fielding questions. HR would be fielding questions, or an executive would be fielding questions, and they're like, I've developed a great balance here, and you're making me come back. And it was like they were ripping out this freedom that they had suddenly found. Like it was never an option to work from home before. And then when they found their lives had changed totally for all sorts of crazy reasons. But working from home became this massive benefit, and some people were not willing to part with it. And now companies are saying, and I think you and I have talked about this before, because companies also offloaded massive amounts of real estate because their office spaces were not needed anymore. And
they did.
And then when they're asking people to come back again, they don't have any more real estate to come back to. So now they're incurring more costs. And it's all very weird because they're telling, and if you ask people now who are running companies, I think it's totally short-sighted to just be like, man, this young group just wants to work from home now. It's like, no, the thing is that there are jobs where it is there's an obvious benefit for having your workforce work from home for the costs that you can save and things like that. But there's also a weird cost that does not go accounted for when your workforce is not coming into an office. And people are finding that out more. It's not just about, oh, look, they don't have to pay for the office anymore. It was more like along the lines of, it is so hard to cultivate a real culture at a place when no one is here, or when
I think
the
you're right
workforce
about
is
that.
there. And a lot of bosses will tell you that. They're like, we have a hard time making real human connections, which is what we need for a good culture around here when the humans are not showing up to the actual physical job.
Yeah, I think that's right. I never really enjoyed working from home.
I didn't either, and I was glad I didn't. I got to avoid it the entire time. I was always one of the ones that were like, "You need to come in," and I was like, "Great, I want to come in." And while other hosts were hosting from home, that would have driven me nuts. Well, number one, it wouldn't have been a possibility when my kids would have sabotaged it and I would have been fired. But there would have been, I would have just gone. I would have actually gone nuts. While some people, their sanity was saved by the fact that they were able to work from home.
I didn't enjoy it, and I didn't really do it during COVID when our office was closed. Since I'm only 10 minutes away, I just went in. I was the only one in the office. I just went into the office every day, and I had the biggest conference room with all the windows. That became my office. I had all my stuff set up in there, and it was great. I don't enjoy working from home.
Well, our producer Caitlin appreciates some level of remote work. I told her that's impossible. You're going to have to sign in for me in the news box.
I like being around colleagues. I like being there. My brother works a lot remotely. In fact, if you're watching the stream, you can see this is his home office.
Yeah, it is nice.
This is Logan's, yeah. This is Logan's home office.
I assume it's a green screen.
It's nice.
I assume it's a green screen, and actually behind you are a bunch of Ferrari posters and pictures of sports.
No, this is a real place. It's nice. My brother has a nicer house than me. It's fine.
Well, he also
drives nicer cars than me. It's fine.
He lives in Texas. It's also a better state. They'll tell you that too. Has he developed an accent, a Texan accent?
No. He's still
our ice cream is better than Bluebell down here. He takes his pistols out. Yeah, listen. There's a whole thing you got to adopt when you start living in Texas. Also, I was going to ask is that but he's in the sales industry, right? And it's semi-tech stuff too.
Yeah.
That seems like
it's a lot easier for sales to work remotely.
That's the standard, I think, for that industry, and it changed a little bit. And I think that works for them. For you and I, and our personalities, on top of the fact that our job does a lot better when we're able to do this in person. Although we've made some adjustments, and you're able to do this kind of stuff now. We've lowered our audio standards in this industry so much now. We'll just let people do shows from inside of strangers' offices. It's great.
Yeah, if they'll let me do it, I'll take advantage of it because I'll tell you why. You know what they have in Austin?
Oh, free Wi-Fi?
Bird Biscuit.
Oh.
Which is what I had earlier today, which are these big giant biscuits, and they do these chicken sandwiches on them.
Hey,
but
we almost made it.
Sandwich. I got egg, bacon, egg, and cheese.
What was that? I think we almost set the record for our show and went 8.5 minutes without talking about food, and then it came right back up again. So
was that long?
I don't even know if it was that long, to be honest. All right, we'll take a break here. We'll come back. We have news, traffic, and weather here at the bottom of the hour, and we'll come back. Amy Donaldson, one of our hosts of KSL podcasts, and one of the great podcasts that she's been working on recently, has been part of her coach's book club. Last month she interviewed RSL's head coach, and now this month it's University of Utah head coach Morgan Scally and what he learned and what they discussed on the new book that they went through this month. And we'll talk to Amy next about how this series has been working out. So stay right here with us. More to go. It is KSL Brightside on KSL News Radio.
Good afternoon, 2:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Jeff Kaplan. KSL's top local story this hour. The judge at the Charlie Kirk murder trial has ordered a closer look at allegations that prosecutors violated a gag order by speaking publicly about the case.
By making specific statements to various news outlets, including TMZ, USA Today, Fox News, Political Facts, and others. Accordingly, the court grants defendant's motion for order to show cause.
Judge Tony Graff on the bench in Provo. 11 days from now, they'll have to answer allegations before the judge decides what happens next. The Millard County Sheriff's Office is warning residents not to leave valuables in their cars. There have been multiple break-ins reported in the Hinckley area. Anyone with security or doorbell footage of a break-in is encouraged to reach out to the sheriff's office. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. We're getting mixed messages about U.S.-Iran peace talks.
The president now says that talks are continuing, quote, at a rapid pace. That is very different than what we heard earlier today from Iranian state media, where they had indicated that talks had been suspended at at this point because of the issue of Lebanon, that was such a flashpoint complicating these conversations right now with the United States.
ABC's Karen Travers reporting. On Wall Street today, record territory with the Dow up 46 points. The NASDAQ was up 114. Coming up, summer heat is just around the corner. The KSL weather forecast is on the way next. Stay with us, KSL News Time, 2:32.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive knows it ain't easy navigating the open plains of home insurance, but there is one man who can help tame that wild herd of options, the Home Quote Explorer.
Note, Progressive's Home Quote Explorer is not a real person, but an online tool that lets you compare home insurance.
He's the type of feller who helps you decide on the right insurance, even if it ain't with him.
Again, not a person, just an online tool that helps you find great home coverage.
A real pioneer.
Okay, fine. Just do the thing. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today. Call 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. You deserve to love where you bank. Here's Ricky Meese.
Crews are wrapping up a crash eastbound I-80 after 1300 East. It's been blocking right lanes of travel. The delays it caused has cleared out, and the rest of your Valley freeways are seeing good speeds and no problems. No matter the weather, your feet can feel fantastic. Find the Good Feet location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, 81 this afternoon. It's going to warm to 90 by Thursday, 94 by Saturday. Right now, 77 degrees. I'm Jeff Kaplan from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at KSLNewsRadio.com. This is Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
911, tell me exactly what happened.
My son and his wife and their 2 children haven't responded.
Susan Powell disappeared on a snowy morning in 2009.
And I said, Josh, where are you? You need to get home.
And her husband will never be held accountable.
Your wife is missing, Josh.
Yeah, but
And you want to think about it for a couple of days?
I'd had this overwhelming feeling that he had done something to her already.
I'm Dave Cawley, host of the podcast Cold.
Then he starts making phone calls to Susan's phone.
Hello, Susan. We are on our way back.
It's the deepest of deep dives into this tragic tale of abuse.
Where was Josh when Susan disappeared?
I don't know. Of one mother's desperate attempt to escape.
This is me, covering all my bases.
Help prevent it from happening again.
Our focus has and continues to be finding Susan.
Listen and learn by following Cold wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, it's Tori DeVito. In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. I grew up on tour with my parents. Kind of different, but we bonded over music just like other families do over sports, camping, or other interests. And we talked. Little everyday conversations from silly to serious that built a foundation over time. Honest conversations, like when my dad shared his experiences as an alcoholic.
Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted to uphold in my own life. And I was so grateful that you and Mom had become these sober, stable people who were always there for me.
I wanted you to know from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now that hard work is what creates success, not alcohol or other drugs, whether it's music or anything else. I said it a lot, and I'm glad you took it to heart.
Talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
KSL Brightside with Ethan Miller.
Doug Wright is probably rolling over in his grave here. He's back on the air.
And Alex Curie.
Well, first of all, Doug's not dead, but yeah, he probably would not approve.
This is KSL Brightside on KSL News Radio.
All right, welcome back. This is KSL Brightside. I'm Ethan Millard. Got Alex Curie here with me. And we have a special guest this segment. In the Utah media landscape, there are a few people as well known and as well established as Amy Donaldson. And you can hear Amy currently in a great podcast, a KSL podcast called The Coach's Book Club. And we're going to talk a little bit about with Amy about some a recent episode that she did that really is kind of making waves and alerting us to some things about some things. Well, hold on. Let me back up a little bit. She's bringing some deeper insight into Utah football, especially the new coach, Morgan Scalley. His road to head coach, of course, was not a completely smooth one, had a little bit of a bumpy time there. And so we're bringing Amy on to talk about what she learned chatting with Morgan Scalley. And Amy, welcome. Thanks for doing this for us.
Hey, thank you both for having me on. I'm so excited to be on your show with you.
I know. Listen, there wasn't that long ago, Amy. We were doing all of this at night, right? Everybody like this. The lights were off and it was dark in the studio. We were having very similar discussions. Very apropos that we're able to do this again. Now, I was able to dip in when you had RSL's coach on, Pablo Mastroeni, have him on and talk about the same thing on the part last month of the Coach's Book Club. And now with Morgan Scalley, there's so many angles now because everybody wants to talk to him because he's the new head coach and it's all these things he's gone through. And everybody knows the path that he took there and how much of a Utah man he is. And then at the same time, you're having these guys. Is it hard to get these guys to read the books? Will you please read a self-help book among all of the time that you have to do? But I feel like both of these guys are on that level of they know the level of self-care you have to have up here. And these are the types of books that probably help them out, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was actually Pablo Mastroeni who was the inspiration for this podcast. In fact, the other podcast I did, Making of a Moment, that I talked to you, Alex, when you were on afternoon. You've been all over the radio, afternoon, evenings, whenever.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But it was talking with him about the impact that Untethered Soul had on him and his, when he was dealing with anxiety. And I just, like a couple of years later, I read the book and then I thought, this would be so cool to have these conversations with coaches. Because coaches, they have a unique, they're sort of like leaders in business, but then they're emotional, like mentors and leaders. I love sports business, the idea of professional sports or this idea of business marrying sports, because it is sports is so emotional and so physical. And then business is so intellectual, right? And so it's this marriage of all this stuff. And then you bring to it like a really spiritual component with a lot of the coaches we've talked to. And it's just been fascinating. And I was joking with DJ, my co-host. It's like we're at this boot camp for leadership. And so every month a new coach picks a book, but this month it's Morgan Scalley. He picked Ego is the Enemy. It's a book by Ryan Holiday, who does a newsletter called the Daily Stoic. Super fascinating choice, I thought. And an equally fascinating conversation with Coach Scalley that's out today. And then there'll be a follow-up at the end of the month. But in between that, we're going to talk to 3 members of his staff. So we'll talk to the new GM, Joe D'Orazio, is next week. And then Kevin McGivern, the new offensive coordinator. And then Sharif Shah, the defensive coordinator. Super different guys, crazy time in college football. So the conversations have been really fascinating.
So Amy, Coach Scally chose Ego is the Enemy. He brought that book, said, this is what I want to read. Why do you think he did that? Why do you think he picked this book? Did he tell you?
He does tell us. He tells us 2 times in this episode now. So in the first episode with the coaches, we have them introduce themselves and talk about their background and how they got into coaching. And that's actually, there were some surprises for me with Coach Scally, but he also talked about his 3 mentors, Coach McBride, Coach Urban Meyer, and then Coach Kyle Whittingham. And I mean, just completely different guys with completely different approaches and the impact they had on him. And then in the last segment of the podcast, he talks about why he chose Ego as the Enemy. And really for him, it's a book that really helped him get out of his head and stop focusing on results. In sports, it's like, I joke about, so what have you done for me lately? It's like my kids, like, but what have you bought me today? How are you today? What is today? You haven't told me you love me today. So, and that's a lot of sports, yeah, sure. You took us to the playoffs, 2 years ago, but we want something all the time. It's this, constant feed the beast. Right. And so I think the really fascinating thing about the book was how Ryan Holiday goes through history and talks about historical figures who are focused on contributing to society or to creating something better in society versus I want to go up the ladder. I want to move up the chain, and that's what most people do is they want to go up the food chain, right? They want to get a promotion. They want to get a raise. They want to have validation from outside. And sports is like the ultimate outside validation because you need the scoreboard to tell you you're worth it.
Yeah. And on top of it, like the brutality that it is too. Mm-hmm. Like you talked about the what have you done for me lately thing. And the very first thing they do in sports, I think more than any other place in the world, is that they go, this is a business. And by the way, and University of Utah's leading out on this part too, is that they are going, here is the business side of it, right? When you start talking about what the relationship is more recently with Otro Capital and a private equity firm coming in and being a part of this and running it like a business and trying to figure this out. I've got actually some clips here, Amy. I wanted to bring up this one because Coach Scally talks about on you guys' podcast on this episode of the Coaches Book Club about what this book kind of stood out to him. And speaking of a guy who, and I've heard him speak for hours and hours and hours, and I never get sick of how much insight a smart, brilliant person like Coach Scally brings to it. Here's what he said about the book.
Well, and the thing that Ryan talks about in this book that I love is you really have to redefine what success is. And he uses Bill Walsh as an example, right? I believe it was 2-14 when he got hired in his first year. He's 2-14. It's like, okay, what was success? You just got the same record as the old coach that got fired. But success for him was we were playing smarter. We were playing better football, the way we prepared, the way we practiced. And he saw improvement. That was success to him. So if you're definition of success is just winning, you really limit yourself to the beauty of the journey.
It's fascinating because the time frame now, this timeline that he's moved into now, which, by the way, he's been a part of. You talk about all these coaches that were an impact on him, and whether it was a player or a coach or an assistant, during those moments, he's been a part of each one of those coaches' kind of histories too, and each one of them had a very different history at the University of Utah, but success was always part of all 3 of those guys at different levels. What an interesting moment now when he takes over the University of Utah from its most successful moment ever, which he was a huge part of. But then everyone just will throw that away, Amy. You know how it is. And they'll go, yeah, but you were one of the best defensive coordinators that this team has ever seen for a couple of decades, basically. And it doesn't matter because if you're the head coach and you don't pick up where Kyle Whittingham left off, then, man, we have a problem now. What a strange space for him to be in. I would imagine that stress is there, but it seems like a guy who's also willing to take it on.
Ethan, did you have something you were going to add to that, or was it just weird?
Well, he wanted to talk X's and O's of football. You know him. That's what he wanted to do right after.
Well, it's just so I can see. I mean, I understand this perspective of ego, but from that Stoic perspective, which of course is Ryan Holiday's perspective, you have to redefine success because success is not going to bring you true lasting happiness because you always have to move on to the next success, right?
Mhm.
And that creates
Yeah.
a long-term burden that is just not sustainable. And so I can see how on a personal level, redefining these things so that you can personally have happiness outside of success in the material or business world. I get that. It's not clear to me, though, how successful a head coach is going to be in redefining success for a football team, right? That needs
Yeah.
to win a certain number of games, recruit
yeah.
a certain number of players, and
Yeah. I'll tell you how. And some of that's going to become clear when we talk to his staff. But some of it is that he's not there. I mean, he wants to win. I'm not saying that he doesn't want to win. So nobody take that from this comment.
Right.
But he wants to impact the lives of young men. He wants to change their lives with the game of football. He wants to teach them something about themselves, about how to be better human beings by using the game of football, by using discipline and hard work and teamwork to make them into better citizens in our community. That's his definition of success. It's not, I mean, does he want to win? You know, if you've met him, you know he wants to win. But that's not going to be for him his focus. And he thinks if he focuses on those things, on using football to make better human beings, then he's going to win football games.
Amy,
that's his theory.
Amy,
I love that. That's kind of an old school
is.
coaching perspective,
And he's
isn't it, Colin?
he's that old school. He has the old school mentality, but he's still got that youth about him too. I think that's what people love really about him. Where can we find the podcast, Amy? Here we got a wrap here, but I just wanted to make sure people know where they can find it.
KSL Sports YouTube page, and then anywhere you listen, the KSL app right next to your podcast, you can listen to ours. So
anywhere that fine podcasts are found. Amy Donaldson, thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. The Coach's Book Club, that's where you can find it right there. We'll take a break here. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up, get you ready for Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News. Next, right here, it is KSL News Radio.
Head to KSL.com/win and enter this week's KSL News Radio contest. This week, you could win tickets to Utah Arts Festival, a Bear Lake getaway at Beaver Creek Lodge, sponsored by America First Credit Union, or a $250 gift card to The Roof. Don't miss your chance to win big all summer long. It's quick, it's easy, and you could be our next big winner. Don't wait. Visit KSL.com/win and enter today.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Join KSL in the movie show this Friday, 10 to 1 at My Hearing Centers. Free hearing evaluations, and be among the first 30 to try advanced hearing aids risk-free for 30 days.
KSL Brightside with Ethan and Alex, the show you didn't know you needed and still don't on KSL News Radio.
Segment here on KSL Brightside. I'm Ethan Millard here with Alex Keary. And Alex, I really wish that we had a couple more minutes with Amy because I'm super interested in this idea that you can kind of redefine success in a football team from where we are now. Because I know that college football has always had this element of personal development, right? Most of these young men that are playing college football, and when I say most, I mean nearly all of them, right?
Yeah.
All NFL football players used to be college players, but hardly any college players make it to the NFL.
And all the old guard coaches, by the way, are like, this is what's being lost in the new version of college
these guys, these young men at a certain point, they're going to move on and they're going to go into other work in the world. And
this isn't real sports anymore because we're just paying these guys. They're not going to school for the right reasons and all the old guard. I mean, there are frankly coaches that are just quitting because they're like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Nick Saban, right? The most successful coach in the history of college football, and certainly during my lifetime. And he's like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's not fun. It's not fun for me. We're not developing these young men anymore. But he was also saying that. He was also saying that, though, making $12 million a year. So I always love when they're like, I'm trying to develop these young men, and they're just worried about getting paid. I'm like, why do you need to get $12 million? Why do you have to be a part owner of a Ferrari dealership, but also say these college kids need to shut up and just play? It's always a hard balance for me.
But I'll be really interested to see how this goes with Coach Scally, because we know what the expectations are now in football from a head football coach. It is so the bare minimum to not get fired is a record good enough for a bowl game, right? Now, the actual minimum is you've got to have a plan in place to get us to the playoffs, right? I mean, that's the real minimum is, are we making progress every year? And then once we get close enough, do you get us into the playoffs? Can you recruit? Can you help bring in the money to pay these players, which is part of that recruiting process, right? And so I'll be really interested to see if a strategy where the coach kind of pivots back to that personal development and kind of redefining success. I mean, the University of Utah is not the kind of place where they'll just let you hang out.
Oh, no.
You know?
And part of that's because of the standard they've already set. If you're at a cruddy university, they'll do that.
The University of Utah is a big deal football school.
Yep, it is now.
And, everyone wants these young men to be developed, but at a certain point, he's got to put points on the board, and they've got to be good enough.
Yeah, and I'm interested. That's what everybody's tuned in to see is that, okay, we know what kind of assistant you were in your career. We know that you were the coach and waiting for a long time. Everybody's been anticipating this for a long, long time. What's it going to actually look like, though? And how are you going to treat it? And that's all happening, by the way, while Kyle Whittingham felt like his time actually wasn't totally over, goes and takes a job at an even bigger university with an even bigger, level of expectations for the people that are in there. I mean, it's fascinating to see how this thing go down. Hey, since I've already got you on the sports topic, Ethan, can I? Yeah. I feel like I don't get these very often because my sports background kind of makes me want to lean these directions sometimes. But did you see that there was another city who joined the fray against Salt Lake?
Yes, I do. Sacramento.
So it was Vancouver a couple of weeks ago who just kind of floated a fake idea. Sacramento has officially put their name into the ring. They've kind of just they're telling the commissioner that they are making intentions of dating its daughter, and they want to make sure that they want to make sure that they're a part of this thing. And so I thought for our AI question of the day of our final segment should be in Sacramento. By the way, the whole Bay Area. I'll just tell you the quick beat on why it shouldn't matter. They just lost the Oakland A's. Oakland just lost the A's, right? The Bay Area lost the Athletics because they could not support that team. It was not a good baseball town anymore. And this is a historic team, right? I say that knowing that this is a team who has World Series under their belts. They were always a team who overperformed compared to what the payout was. They always had a small budget. Look at the movie Moneyball, right? Kind of what the history of that. They were able to do a lot with a little. And they figured out how to do it against the big dogs. Fine, great story. But in the end, it needs to be a more profitable business. And so they're moving to Vegas, right? So they're moving the team there. And so that whole area, that Bay Area that already has the San Francisco Giants, but they've had the A's there forever. They feel like they can support another team in the Sacramento area with a team, but that team would have to replace or be in place of a Salt Lake team. And that Salt Lake team has been kind of high on the list. We know that Major League Baseball has said, yes, they do want to expand by 2029. So I'm asking ChatGPT, or not ChatGPT, what is this one? This is Copilot. I'm asking Copilot today, our AI question of the day. Why is Salt Lake City so much better than Sacramento? Does that seem like a fair question?
It's exactly the right question.
Yeah. So why is Salt Lake City so much better? All right. So here we go. Lower cost of living, of course. That's a big one, right?
Still,
So
are we sure? Do we need to
Actually,
double check the math on that?
I think compared to Sacramento, I think compared to Northern California, we're still okay. I think we're still okay to still be able to say that, but maybe not. Though.
I just don't. Anyone says better standard of living in Salt Lake, I never take that at face value anymore.
Right.
I always want to
assume it's a lie. Yeah. Access to the mountains or outdoor recreation. I'm like, I don't know if that's like a baseball team thing.
We're straight. We're toast.
Yeah.
If these are the first two, access to mountains and standard of living, we're toast.
Hold on. Let me see here. Oh, here we go. Less traffic. Boom. Done. Right? That's the end of it, right? So we win there.
That's it.
They also said scenery. Scenery is a big deal. Many people find the backdrop of the Wasatch Range much more dramatic than parts of Northern California. Here's what they say too. I really wanted to hold on. I'm gonna suggest something while we only have.
You need to
talk more trash
Copilot
about.
needs to be more mean.
Yeah.
Ask it to be more mean.
Be more
mean about Sacramento.
About Sacramento.
Yes, that's
okay.
What
Okay. So now we're talking. So. If you're looking for a roast, here's what it says. Salt Lake City is where people like to spend weekends for hiking, skiing, camping. Sacramento's where people spend weekends explaining that it's only 2 hours away from the places that they'd rather be. Oh, see, now we're talking.
This is what we need. This is what we need.
When people fly to Salt Lake City, they're usually going there on purpose. When people fly to Sacramento, it's a decent chance they're trying to actually just try to get to San Francisco or places like Lake Tahoe that people actually like. So again, in that same vein of nobody wants to go to Sacramento itself. They're just trying to get to other places. And I would say that that's probably the case for the baseball situation as well. They have $2 billion in funding. They say they're ready to hit the ground running with right now. They have renderings for everyone's got renderings nowadays, though, Ethan. I can make a rendering right now with OpenAI and all these things.
Let me ask you a question, because there's one thing that's making me nervous, because these are big cities and they're bringing it.
They're bigger.
Right? They're bringing it.
Yeah.
So we all know Salt Lake City is better than that. Major League Baseball doesn't necessarily. The thing that I keep reading about and hearing about that sets Salt Lake apart is an established ownership group. The Millers used to own the Jazz, et cetera. They're known in professional sports.
Well, and on top of it,
do you think that's enough? If everyone's got a couple $1 billion and 50 acres to develop, do you think just the Miller family being the Miller family, do you think that alone would be enough? Because it kind of sounds like from some of the reports I've read that it's kind of coming down to like stuff like that.
Yeah, let me say it quickly.
You think that's enough?
It's not just the Millers, and that's a huge part of it because they're going to be the owners. But it's also the fact that Salt Lake City is a cash cow for professional teams right now. And they can look at Sacramento and go, that's not necessarily the case with
Salt Lake
Kings.
Is ascendant. Yep.
They are ready to make money here, and you can make money here, and that's going to be the bigger deal. All right, Ethan, we'll talk to you tomorrow again. Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News coming right up. You don't want to miss any of it. Stay right here on KSL News Radio.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good afternoon, 3 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Jeff Kaplan. In Salt Lake City, we're at 75 degrees. KSL's top story. Candidates running against Stuart Adams say his big announcement about the Box Elder County Data Center is lip service. The announcement this morning.
We want this public-facing process so the public can have input on it. It is a huge project, but when you take 75% of the project and use it as a buffer, that makes it better. When you take the water off of the project and deliver it to Salt Lake, it makes it better.
That's the Utah Senate president saying he asked Kevin O'Leary to scale back the data center by 75%. The reaction from KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson.
Adams says he's heard public feedback, and not only does he want the size of the project down to 10,000 acres from 40 to create a buffer, but he wants any excess water used by the data center delivered to the Great Salt Lake. Braden Hess, who's running against Adams for Senate District 7, says,
I think it's a little misguided. Instead of it addressing the full problem, he's just reducing it from 100% of a problem to 25% of a problem.
Adams is the chair of the Military Installation Development Authority, or MIDA board, which voted for the initial approval of the project. Stephanie Hollist, who's also running against Adams in the primary, says his letter today is all talk to appease frustrated constituents before the